Second thing Paul says here is by deed. First it was by word. He proclaimed to them the message they were to believe. The second here, he says by deed. Now we've been watching that, have we not, over the past several lessons? Paul not only preached, they had his life to look at. Paul never injured their consciences. He never taught against the things those folks of his message or of his program, of this dispensation, grace age believers. Paul never taught against the Jews among them who had their consciences tied to those things of the Jewish law. Paul not only preached, they could look at his life and they could see that he had integrity. This man speaks the truth. He not only is, in our modern day lingo, would say not only talks the talk, he walks the walk. Paul never abandoned those things which were the Jews were among him, had linked to their consciences. They were linked to Paul's. But what did he teach? You'll never gain your righteousness through the doing of these things. That wasn't the purpose of the law in the first place. So Paul not only preached, they had his life to look at. Paul not only preached to the Gentiles, he practiced what he preached in front of the Gentiles. Paul backed up his words with his life. A good reference to that would be in Philippians 3:17, where Paul said, "Brethren, be followers together of me, and mark them which walk so as ye have us for a pattern." You know, it's one thing to say, here's what you ought to do. It's quite another thing to do what you ought to be doing. And of course, that comes from what again? We're back to the Word, as that Word transforms our thinking. And now we're doing something not because we have to do it or we're supposed to do it or because the pastor's pointed out a new 9 or the faithful 5 for members of the age of grace. That's being done all over the place today. But that's not why we do them. We do them because God has changed our thinking about himself, about ourselves, and about others as we take in his word and dwell on that. Practicing agape and preaching agape go hand in hand with having agape-type thinking through the transformation of our minds. That comes through staying in the Word, relating to God, relating to others as that Word changes the way we think about them. Paul led by example in that area. That's why Paul could say, be followers together of me. Paul was following Christ in the sense of wanting to be related, wanting to be conformed to the image of Christ's death on behalf of serving others. Do it the way I do it, Paul tells us. That's leading by deed. He even goes as far as to say, mark them. Single those folks out who lead by deed. Single those folks out that you can see have transformed thinking. And that transformed thinking has affected their doing. Single these folks out. They're following my pattern, Paul said.